welcome to Ladies of Another View on Beck. I am Mary, and I'm joined today by Amy and by Karmen. So welcome to the show, ladies. We're going to have a great show today. First of all, we're going to talk to Christopher Larson, and he's going to talk about some of the issues going on right here with our nursing homes. It sounds like maybe some more lockdowns coming up, not sure. All kinds of issues about employees getting vaccinated, whether or not they're going to stay or whether they're going to walk, just so many issues. And then later in the show, we're going to go ahead and talk about, well, Karmen's going to take over and talk about some of the VAERS issues and the vaccine issues and just all kinds of information. Mm-hmm. So we want you to stick around for the whole show. But first of all, I want to introduce Christopher Larson. Hi, Chris.
Hi, ladies. It's great to be with you today.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate it. I know Patty had lined you up as a guest, and she is on what we would call grandma maternity leave, right? She's going to go help her daughter. So thank you for being on the show today. And we might as well just jump right on in. Tell us what your mission is, Chris.
Well, my mission is very simple, and ever since the pandemic started, so I live in a nursing home myself in Mayville. And my mission since this pandemic started was making sure that we reunited our residents and our families. So about 2 months into the pandemic, I reached out to Shelley Peterson at the Long-Term Care Association here in North Dakota and asked if we could develop a task force to reunite residents and families. And that really was kind of the brainchild conversation of the task force that today I still do chair, the Reuniting Residents and Families Task Force. So it essentially from day one has been my goal to make sure that visitation happens in all nursing homes and that nursing homes have the tools that they need to keep their residents safe, but to keep visitations going as well.
All right, so we had a conversation yesterday, and you had mentioned that 90% of the residents are vaccinated. What's going on within the places right now?
So right now, like you just said, a majority of our residents are vaccinated. Not as big of a percentage of our staff are vaccinated. So what's going on right now in most, if not all of the facilities in North Dakota, is they're allowed to have visitation. Every facility in the state is allowed outdoor visitation, where residents can be outside visiting with their families. And a majority of them are open to inside visitation as well. The caveat to the inside visitation is whether or not a facility has a positive COVID case in either a resident or a healthcare worker by CMS and guidance developed by the state of North Dakota. More so CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. As soon as a positive case is identified in the state of North Dakota in one of the long-term care facilities, that facility has to shut down inside visitation and conduct what we call outbreak testing. Now, when you talk about outbreak testing, you may think 10, 15, 20 cases in a nursing home is an outbreak, but truthfully, according to CMS guidelines, one case constitutes an outbreak. So if there's one staff case, even if it's in a staff member that has no direct patient care, we still have to shut down for a minimum 1 week. Mm-hmm. So that's really what's going on in North Dakota right now with visitation in mind.
Now, Chris, first, I just have to tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you for what you do. It's a very personal topic to me, and it gave me shivers when I saw it today because my mom is in a basic care facility. So I absolutely have felt this pandemic of not being able to hug my mom for over a year before they were able to lighten up. So I know that one person is testing positive, the whole thing gets shut down. And I'm thankful for them to be proactive. But on the other side, speaking with my mother, there's so many residents that are literally fading away because they don't have the contact with their family. So how do you address the people that come up to you and say, well, we have to keep them safe, and to keep them safe, they can have zero contact? What do you say for the quality of life for the people that the family is what keeps them going every day?
We lived that very early on in this pandemic. You know, there's not data out there that shows it, but we know that we lost residents in North Dakota, not to the COVID-19 pandemic, but to failure to thrive. Residents died because they had no will to live. And that was really hard in the beginning. I heard many of those different phone calls. I fielded them myself. I heard all of those stories. So when somebody comes up and tells me that, you know, we need to protect the residents, yeah, we need to protect them. We can do that with safety measures, with simply a mask, you know, making sure you stay home when you're sick, washing your hands, all of those things. We don't need to be taking away visitation to our residents. We simply need to use the tools that are in our toolbox to be able to mitigate all of these things that are going on. So that's one of the things we fought for. We should never, ever have to shut down a nursing home again because of COVID-19.
And Chris, I'm just wondering, as you're speaking, which agencies do you mainly work with then, and do you have like a committee within the nursing home, some of the residents that, you know, you're all kind of providing your input, and just how does your system work to help keep things rolling in a good direction?
So obviously our committee was started by the Long-Term Care Association under Shelley Peterson's supervision. We've also, on our task force that we haven't met now since things have opened up, but with some of the things going on with the Biden administration right now, we definitely will be meeting again. And what that committee is made up of, it's made up of members, you know, from the long-term care community, administrators. We also have residents, but we also have staff from the Department of Health and the Department of Human Services. And the governor's office has taken part in this. And then I've also got a separate group of families that I keep in contact with regularly. And I have other families that contact me on a regular basis. So all of us come together, we bring all these concerns together and really try and fight this the best we can.
All right. So there's just so much more to talk about because we're all fighting on our own individual levels, and we know you're fighting for us as well. But we're going to find out more after these messages, because we have a lot more to talk about with Christopher Larson right after this on Ladies of Another View on Back.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
I'm Rick Becker.
And I'm Lori Hins.
Welcome to No Apologies, your after-hours oasis of sanity.
Your retreat begins at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Billings, host of The Right Side with Doug Billings, where we take great joy every day in entering into your lives at key moments to make differences for the better. That's how we fulfill the meaning of life, folks. I have the high-profile guests that you want to hear from The Right Side. I also have truth, honesty, morality, God. We have it all on our side. We also take a lot of joy in pointing out the intellectual immaturity of liberals everywhere. You can see me on Beck TV and Beck.News. Cheers.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We're visiting with Christopher Larson with the Reuniting Residents and Families Task Force. And he was talking last segment about these people, trying to keep them safe. And these are the people that stormed the beaches of Normandy, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. And all of the things that they have gone through in their lives, they've lived 80, 90 years, and now we're trying to protect them from a cold. And, is COVID real? Yes, it is. But is it any worse than what some of the flus have been in the past? It's just there's so much out. But now Administrator Biden came up this last week, or just the last couple of days, talking about mandating all of the nursing home employees on getting the jab. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we knew it was coming. We knew eventually President Biden was going to do something. And this is probably 2 weeks ago now. The president said that if nursing homes and assisted living facilities, which get their funding from Medicare and Medicaid, if they wanted to keep their funding, their staff were going to have to all be vaccinated. So that means 100% of our staff are going to have to be vaccinated based on the president's order. Now, there's things to be said that, yes, vaccinations are good, but I caution people, and I caution people all the time, you have to make this decision for yourself. There's no reason why the government should be telling you, you have to get vaccinated. And so the Long-Term Care Association did a survey of their staff, and as it sits, the day they did the survey, 40% of the staff, or 4,000 staff members, said they would be done. They weren't going to work in long-term care. Now, whether or not that's going to play out and actually happen, I guess we'll see once the announcement comes out when this is actually going to happen. But losing 4,000 staff, that's a lot of staff. Losing one staff member is terrible right now for nursing homes, because we need all the staff we can get. Because when you talk about COVID, we have to separate our residents from the regular population if they happen to get COVID. So there has to be specific people working that unit. So we can't afford to lose staff. So it's just a real pain point right now for long-term care.
And I think there was a shortage even before COVID. There's always been a shortage of nursing home staffing.
Yes, they're absolutely. Right now, facilities, even without the mandate, are struggling to fill every shift. in nursing homes across North Dakota and across the United States. So I can't imagine how much more of a pinch there's going to be when and if this comes down from the president that you have to take the jab.
Now, Chris, as a family member, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, and I'm wanting to advocate for my mother and have other people advocate for their parents, because we're going through these holidays and birthdays and special occasions without our loved one with us, and some of us, every day is special. We don't know when our day is going to be the last one with them. How can we advocate for our family members? How can we do what you're doing, maybe in a smaller capacity, but talking to the nursing homes or the care facilities? How do we approach that? How do we let them know, hey, this isn't okay?
Well, I really think so. The nursing homes, unfortunately, have to follow what the federal government says. That's the hard part in all of this. I can't put any of this on the nursing homes. It is CMS and CDC deciding what's best for the whole United States. We're not even taking a regional look at this. When I say we, I'm talking the federal government. The federal government is giving a one-size-fits-all approach. So I think really what needs to be done is we need to talk to our senators and our representatives and say, hey, we need these, especially when we're talking staff members. We need these staff. The federal government needs to realize what pinch it's going to put us in. So while all of our nursing homes are locally owned and operated, this really is much more than just what we're doing locally. It's what the federal government is telling. So that's the advocacy part that I'm working on right now. Is I've turned from, I'm still advocating for residents, but I'm advocating for my staff, because my staff, and when I say my staff, I'm talking about all 10,000 in North Dakota. They should be able to make this decision on their own. Now, for the residents, again, just the common sense things. If we can keep COVID out of facilities, they'll stay open for visitation. So just using those source control methods, washing hands, if you're sick, stay home. Those are all ways we can help our nursing homes stay open.
Chris, thank you for pointing out. I was unaware that those rules are set at a federal level. So maybe to our viewers listening, when we have parents and we're feeling frustrated, don't take it out on the staff. They're just following the orders that our government's putting on. Thank you for pointing that out. I think some of us needed to hear that, to maybe give those working very hard a break.
Well, and we're hearing here in Bismarck anyway, I have a couple different nursing homes, or one's assisted living, one's a skilled care, and both of those, they're requiring the vaccine already, even before Biden, well, it was about the same time, but they made the decision that, at a local level, they are going with it. If Joe Biden shuts it down and says, no, I guess you don't have to, I would hope that they would release that hold over their employees then right away, so those employees aren't stuck having to make that decision to either lose their job or, But the other thing that I wanted to ask about, Chris, is in the beginning of all this, I've always wondered, where's the mental health community? We hear about it out in the community outside the nursing homes, but how much have they stepped up to help residents of the nursing homes with all the uncertainty, with all of the, shutdown, you can visit, you can't visit, all the things that cause anxiety for our elderly? What are they doing to help with that?
We've been really lucky. We've got a great crew of ombudsmen at the state level that worked with the Department of Human Services, but at our local level, our administration, our social work staff, our chaplains in our facilities, even our nurses and CNAs have really been there to help our residents cope with all of this. it's frustrating, and I know it is. I've felt it, I've lived it, I've had COVID myself, so I get it. So I really gotta give a hats off to our health community, to our social work, to our doctors, getting these people the help that they need if they're feeling overwhelmed. And even, we're not just talking residents, we're talking staff as well. There, I've seen several times where a staff member is overwhelmed and another staff just comes in and lifts them up. And I try to do that for my staff as well. So I really hope that's going on in our facilities.
Christopher, thank you for joining us today. We've simply run out of time, but I just want to maybe reinforce the viewers. We just need to reach out to our legislators and get the job done, get the ball rolling. We have to protect our elderly. We'll be back right after this on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground. Enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
But how will we?
The car! Your offer's been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm coming to you with one of the most important commercials that I've ever done. All of you know what MyPillow and myself have gone through in the last 8 months in my efforts to bring the truth forward. Well, now you can help in a couple ways. First, get everyone you know to go to my new media platform, frankspeech.com. There you'll find all the footage from my cyber symposium and many other important broadcasts. Also, I am personally doing a new daily live show to get the truth out. It's at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Secondly, I'm offering some of the best prices ever on MyPillow products, but they're only available on frankspeech.com. Go to frankspeech.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive MyPillow offers. Thank you and God bless.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. You know, I can't stress enough that we have got to reach out to our legislators. We have got to do it here locally. You got to start at the county level, start at the state level, start somewhere, because if they don't hear about it, it's like, oh, don't know anything, nothing to see here. You've got to stay on top of it. Email them every day, 3 times a day. You've got to get it home. You've got to protect, and not just the elderly, but every issue. There's so much going on in the world right now. And if there's any way to stop it, we have to start right here at home. So anyway,
if you don't give it a voice, how are they going to know?
Right, exactly. And then they always say, oh, haven't heard a thing, haven't heard a thing. But anyway, so Karmen, you kind of dug into some stuff this week, and I'm just going to toss it over to you. You did some stuff with the National Institute of Health and with Joe Rogan. Just why don't you start us off?
I did. Well, probably a lot of you viewers have seen the Joe Rogan piece where he had COVID, he contracted it, and some of the things that he did to take care of it. And if you don't know who Joe Rogan is, he's a comedian, he's also part of the sports world. Anyway, we have a little clip here of what he came on to his viewers to say, and he's got about 5 to 10 million followers. So what he had to say in this video is really quite concerning for a lot of places and people that don't want this kind of information to be out to that many people. So if we could pull up that video.
Back from the road Saturday night, feeling very weary. I had a headache and I just felt run down. And just to be cautious, I separated from my family, slept in a different part of the house, and throughout the night I got fevers and sweats, and I knew what was going on. So I got up in the morning, got tested, and turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it, all kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything. And I also got an NAD drip and a vitamin drip, and I did that 3 days in a row. And so here we are on Wednesday, and I feel great.
Yeah, so he came out with that, and there was that crazy little word in there that it's a horse pill, and it, you know, whatever. And it's ivermectin. You know, and there was a lot of trash that went around about anybody that would even talk about ivermectin as a treatment for COVID. And, you know, I got thinking about how many elderly, like we were just talking about our last segment, take an 80 or a 40 milligram aspirin every day, because it's not on the label saying, you know, you take this for your heart or for, you know, so you keep your blood thinned. It's not on there, but they do it. Everybody does it. And so, you know, because it doesn't say on the label for COVID only, then it gets this bad rap, I think. But what he did talk about is that actually in 2015, ivermectin got a Nobel Prize for the experimental nature that they had used it for people, to use it for various things. And in fact, in 2019, the National Institute of Health came out with something that said that it's one of the 20 essential medications in the world right now is ivermectin. So yes, it is for people as well.
Well, it's right, and it's two different, I mean, it's the same thing, because you can make it for dogs too.
Right.
And the dog and the horse recipe are a little bit different, but the horse and the human one is fairly close, is what I've heard. And the thing is what the mainstream media is saying is it's only for horses, do not take it. Right. It's like, that's bull. It's like, it is not just for horses. There is a human ivermectin as well. It comes in a pill.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. And in Africa, they take it all the time because, and yes, it's anti-parasitic. I get it. But there are very many studies out there too, and then many people will say, follow the science. Well, the problem is there's so much science that's being muted and just taken away from the airwaves because they're referring to things like ivermectin and some of the great results they've seen with it. And one of the things that Joe Rogan said, first of all, he's talking about suing CNN for what they did to what he said, because Rachel Maddow went ballistic on it and put it out there and did all these things. But he said, let's see, they keep saying I'm taking horse dewormer. I literally got it from a doctor. It's an American company. They won the Nobel Prize in 2015 for use in human beings, and CNN is saying I'm taking a horse dewormer. They must know that's a lie.
It is a lie.
Yeah, you know, and then he, you know, he's talking about he says, he continued, there's a lot of speculation. One of the speculations involves the emergency use authorization for the vaccines. That in order for there to be an emergency use authorization, there has to be no treatment for a disease. So because there is this treatment in ivermectin, and there's other treatments too, because of this, there's a lot of pushback against potential treatments and pretending that they don't really work or that they're conspiracy theories. And we've been hearing conspiracy theories for a year and a half now. And, you know, somebody said one day, what's the difference between conspiracy theory and reality? It's 6 months, you know?
Now it's only 3 weeks.
Oh,
It's 3 weeks if they've lessened it.
Right, right. But, you know, when it comes to ivermectin and what they found then as far as the effectiveness of it, there's actually a published study on the National Institutes of Health for what is good for COVID treatments, and it's actually on their website, and I think we have a graphic about that. Yeah, and here's the headline, and this is from the National Institute, this is the National Library of Medicine, which is part of the NIH. Ivermectin, a multifaceted drug of Nobel Prize-honored distinction with indicated efficacy against a new global scourge, COVID-19. So there it is from the horse's mouth, and yet there's all of this. The mainstream media goes berserk whenever ivermectin comes into the conversation, and yet this is right from the institute that so many people look to for trusted information that says it's been effective. So I think part of the angst for a lot of people is that whether you're for vaccine or not, it's still, why is there so much doubt? Why is there so many people going, I just don't know? Well, it's because of things like this. There's so much conflicting information, and who do you trust and what do you trust?
So I don't want to interrupt, but I've got to jump in here because I just had this random thought. Okay, so they don't want us to take ivermectin because, why? But it did win a Nobel Peace Prize, right?
A Nobel Prize, yeah.
But they don't want us to take that even though they know it's effective. But they do want you to take a jab where there are no long-term studies and you don't know what's going into your body or what it's going to do long-term. And yet there's all these studies on ivermectin and it's successful.
Well, here's the thing that really gets me under my skin is they're saying, oh, it's a horse dewormer. It's a horse dewormer.
There is one.
Here's some personal information. I have eczema. I had been prescribed doxycycline to help with my eczema. Well, my dog that I got last year has heartworms. We adopted him. We knew he had heartworms. Guess what he takes? Doxycycline. And we were joking about how Zach and I could share. He'd be wormless. I'd hopefully, skin clear up. That is not the only drug that has 2 different uses between humans and animals.
Right.
So this is not new. So when people say, well, this is for horses, I go, yeah, well, that was for my dog too.
Well, we had prednisone for one of our dogs. Prednisone is for humans as well. Come on, you guys just connect the dots.
Yeah. Well, and then like Joe Rogan said, he also had other things he was taking. It wasn't just ivermectin. And I think anybody who is thinking of taking ivermectin, they know that there's probably some other things that they're going to put with it, because if you go to frontline doctors, there's a lot of information out there as far as the science. That is the other side of the coin. And I'll always tell people, look at both sides of the coin, then make your decision.
And if the media is saying that you shouldn't take it, well, then I think you should, because it's pretty simple, and I think we all know by now what and who is running the media, and it's not for our best interests. And how many people have we had to lose because of their political agenda to a curable disease that has already a 99% survival rate?
Yeah.
There would be no money. You follow the money.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Always.
It is.
Yeah.
So a lot to digest there, but we're going to give you more to digest after this. So take an antacid. It's going to get deeper. All right. So we'll be right back after this on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Hop in the rig and go down the road with me. We'll cover local and national stories that impact you. This is an opportunity to hear the other side, the progressive side. I think people lose sight of the fact that there's still work that happens after the session's over. Describe it to people if you would. There was an attack on NDSU, in my personal opinion. I'll use that word, you don't have to. Down the road with Joel Heitkamp weekdays at 5:30 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. Before we let Karmen dive back into the PubMed, I just want to say one more time, call your legislators. Tell them to demand the use of ivermectin, that there is a treatment for COVID. I mean, when it comes right down to it, every topic that we have here is top news that you might not find on mainstream media. But the bottom line is you've got to contact your legislators to make changes. And so every topic we have, go ahead, give them a call. They are working for you. Make them work.
There you go. There you go. And I think just wanted to take a little more from that article from the PubMed, National Institute of Health, because it's such a trustworthy place, they tell us. So when you look at this abstract, what this paper's about, and you'll see there where it says, since March of 2020, when ivermectin, IVM, was first used against a new global scourge, COVID-19, more than 20 randomized clinical trials have tracked such inpatient and outpatient treatments. 6 of 7 meta-analysis, where am I at here? Okay, 6 of 7 meta-analysis of IBM treatment, RCTs reported in 2021, found notable reductions in COVID-19 fatalities with a mean 31% relative risk of mortality versus controls. During mass IBM treatments in Peru, excess deaths fell by a mean of 74% over 30 days in its 10 states with the most extensive treatments. Reductions in deaths correlated with the extent of IBM distributions in all 25 states. Now, what does that tell us? You know, and when it says competitive binding with the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein, and we've heard so much about the spike protein, and this is something that pairs up with that to defeat it. It's just like, to me, it's just like, this is like no-brainer stuff. This is from NIH. I don't understand why that would be suppressed if we were playing on a level playing field where all information was allowed to be explored. But that's not been the case. We have suppressed so much of the science that contradicts the science they want us to hear via the mainstream medium. And so I believe in being informed. I'm not anti-vax. I know a lot of people who are not anti-vax. They're just concerned because of all the conflicting information on this. What is safe, what's not? Fauci wants to have it legalized for kids 5 to 11 years old by the end of September, so that they can get the shot. And now they're saying boosters, and they don't even know the long-term effects. And they won't let us find the science that either supports or refutes what they're saying. It's wrong. It's just wrong. It's the moral side of this whole issue. That's what gets my blood boiling. It's like, this is not right. It's just not right.
It's not.
So,
No, it's not at all.
Yeah. And I don't know if you two have anything to
I'm
add
just
to
so-
that. or-
I'm just steaming.
I get a little
Well, here's
passionate.
the thing: is that if doctors are held accountable if they refuse life-saving medication or treatment to a patient, they're held accountable. It's malpractice. So where is the culpability in this? If this is clearly something that works. You have multiple sources that are. I don't know how you more credible than Fauci himself, because the second I learned that he helped develop this COVID-19 and then he sold it over to the Wuhan lab because it was too dangerous to have here, that man lost all respect for
if
me.
you viewers have been watching some of the headlines, now the paperwork is out, and Fauci, your tax dollars financed the development of this virus. How does that make you feel?
He should be held accountable for every death that we've had, for every vaccine damage that we've had, for every death from the vaccine that we've had. Fauci should be held responsible for all of that.
Okay, but then the next step of that is, you're hearing in different states that the doctors that are willing to prescribe ivermectin, or that are willing to do some things different, they will take away their license to practice if they go out of those bounds. What is wrong with this picture that a doctor is now being told he cannot honor his Hippocratic oath? What is this? I mean, this is common sense stuff that connect the dots stuff, and I'm not saying that it makes me sound like I'm just hateful. I'm not.
It's about a choice.
It is about what pill or what shot do I want going into my body, or into my mom's body, or into my grandkid's body, or my kids' bodies. Why is my voice worthless anymore?
Yes.
That's the rub.
Right, and when did we turn into this Orwellian dystopia all of a sudden? That just snuck up on us. But you have to wonder, when you're infighting about things, they can come in and they can impose their will. And I mean, this is so much bigger. I mean, there's so many layers to this story of, you have us fighting about race, you have us fighting about sex and all of those things, and then all of a sudden this virus comes in, and now you have, don't do this, you have to do this. I mean, we have been completely bamboozled from the start. From the start, this has been, it's been planned and it's working, and people need to wake up, they need to call in, and they need to have their voices heard to say, I'm on to you, and this is not okay.
Right. So let's fast forward to the nursing issue right now.
Yeah. And maybe we can, this is from a town hall that was hosted by Representative Eric Mortensen, I think it's Mortensen, in Minnesota. And if we can just pull up a short clip here, because my heart goes out to the nurses and the healthcare workers that are on the front line and have been for a year and a half, and they've been working overtime and extra shifts, and I mean,
they've
all
worked
the
through
things.
all of it, and now they're being punished. Now that you've been through it a year and a half, now you need the vaccine, and if you don't get it, you're done.
Plus the fact that you are not allowed to question all of the people now coming into the emergency room that they're saying emergency rooms are filling up again. And it's people that have been vaccinated that are having side effects that are very traumatic things. I mean, it just goes on. So we'll just watch this clip from this town hall, and then we'll talk a little
I talked
bit.
to a nurse while he's getting the microphone, was on her 7th day in a row of 16-hour shifts.
Hi. I think the last 18 months for a lot of us has been a blur. I mean, what's normal anymore? Nothing. To think that we were once hailed as heroes and people that other people looked up to because of what we were doing, and to now suddenly we're being referred to as ignorant, uneducated, and that we're directly responsible for spreading this virus around is absolutely absurd. And what's happened in the last 3 months even has perpetuated that absurdity to just downright insanity. I can't, it's disgusting that humanity has turned to this, and all of this division amongst, just good people and even coworkers. We're all experiencing bullying, coercion, name calling, segregation. It's just unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
It's just sad. It is. My heart breaks for them.
Oh, mine too, mine too. And and part of what we heard them talking about in other parts of that video was that reporting to this VAERS, vaccine affected, I always forget what it means.
Forget the acronyms, there's so many.
But it's about reporting anything that, let's just pull up the graphic, because VAERS, we want to know who's in charge of VAERS. And it is mandated by law that the government agencies in charge of it are, guess who? CDC and FDA. Well, something tells me there might be a conflict of interest going on here, just with all the news we've had. But then who can report? And it's healthcare providers. And then if we can go to the next one, what are they supposed to, they're mandated by law. Nurses are required by law to report, but they're not even that isn't even talked about in nursing school. We had a nurse talk about that. And so they're required, but then they don't have time to, because they're short-staffed and they're trying to care for all these people. And then if they don't report it, and then they're having dirty looks from some of their coworkers if they are trying to report it, and they're not, and they're being called names and things like that. It's bullying in the workforce between the nurses, and it's so heartbreaking because we've seen it in our families, in our community, who used to be friends and good, close relationships are just being split apart.
Yeah.
And it's just so sad.
It is. And so I must say again, we've got to fight for these relationships. There's something bigger going on behind the scenes, but we're going to come back with a lighter side after this. We'll be right back after this on Ladies of Another View on Back.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Welcome to No Apologies, your after-hours oasis of sanity. God, your ego is so tiny and fragile. I'm Rick Becker.
And I'm Lori Hins.
Make no mistake, folks, we lost. Again, we lost the war in Afghanistan. Dynamic. There's nothing wrong with rattling the cages of the old guard.
Your retreat begins at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. You know, there's a few things that Karmen didn't get to, so we're going to give her the chance to do that, and we'll finish up with the lighter side later.
Okay.
The later, lighter side.
The later, lighter side. Okay. Just had some word from, there's a possibility that some nurses are allegedly being threatened with having their license tagged for different violations, where they'll be tagged for a violation. Well, this is from the North Dakota Board of Nursing, and so it shows what is a violation, and it gets into the Century Code, and then it goes into different things. And we're not going to read through all of them, but if you want to just take a look at that, and if you know anybody who is a nurse and maybe feeling that pressure or that bullying, that they do have some legal rights here, and so this is some of the things that they would have to do to get their license tagged. And so it's nice to know they are those, they have those parameters.
It's there, but it is kind of vague. I tried to read through it, and some of those statements are kind of vague. And so that's the part that's so puzzling. Has engaged in a pattern of practice of other behavior that demonstrates professional misconduct. Well, that wouldn't be misconduct, I wouldn't think, but what are they going to label? They can label it anything they want.
Professional misconduct, all kinds of things.
They left that really open. Really
they do.
Open.
A lot of those statements has engaged in any practice inconsistent with the standards of nursing practice. Okay, so explain that. They're very vague. So we just got to keep fighting. There's some deadlines coming up, some hard deadlines with getting the jab or not. And so we have got to stand up for our healthcare professionals, because it's not just them. It's now the federal government is requiring vaccinations as well. So they're taking it one step at a time, and they're pushing to see when people are going to start pushing back. So we got to start legislatively.
And we're hearing from other industries too, that now they're hearing the rumble that their headquarters are going to be coming for them saying you need to get the jab or you're out of here. So there's a lot of that going to happen. It's just progressing. And
so if half the people quit their jobs, let's just say in America, half of every employment, excuse me, is cut in half. So then what can the government do? It's like, okay, well, we ran out of oh, by the way, you quit, so therefore you don't get any of the insurance. What is it called? Help me.
Unemployment.
Unemployment insurance, right. So, okay, so then, well, what about all these other government benefits that you can apply for? What restrictions are they going to put on that? Because they're already, our own governor said we're going to get second-class health care if you don't get vaccinated. He has it, and we're going to go ahead and play that for you next week. But he specifically said that you may get second-class health care if you are not vaccinated.
Right.
And
that's
that
scary.
if you choose not to get vaccinated, you are accepting that by not being vaccinated. You're saying, I'll get put in second to somebody that is vaccinated. He said that on air. Like, I felt like a child.
Right.
And I'm like, how dare you?
Yeah.
I am a grown adult. I deserve medical treatment. And what about these nurses that have been there for almost to their retirement? Or the nurses that are in the national, and the nurses that are in the National Guard. Now they're facing it from the military side, and they're going to get dishonorably discharged because they didn't get the vaccination after how many tours? After how many? I mean, we should be absolutely ashamed of these people, and we should be taking notes coming election time.
Absolutely. There needs to be some firing going on.
I'm going to tell you, the guy that just told me that I'm a second-class citizen because I want the right to choose is not getting my vote next time.
But you know what? I'm just going to put this out there. Look at all of the voting inconsistencies. Who can get back in there?
Right. And if everybody's focused on all of these mandates, where's the attention on the audits? Because those audits are coming out. And I think we said in another show, wait for it because those audits are coming out. What's going to be next to get our attention off of that?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And with that being said, next week, actually, we're going to have Josh Gallion on, and he's going to talk about some of the voting machines and just researching
Great.
that a little bit. So we're going to take a look at that. But
And before we wrap this up, I just want to say that every Thursday, the nurses have started this, and there are people from other industries joining them. But at the Capitol, right along the street there, every Thursday at 4:30, and in Dickinson they're doing it as well. And you'd have to check with Dickinson. I don't remember the time and place. But this Thursday, today, 4:30 at the Capitol, just to stand and just in support of freedom to choose what goes into my body. That's all they're standing for. And there are people there that have already taken the vaccine, and they're not ashamed of that, and God love them, and that's
Absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
but they're
about the
standing
choice.
with this freedom to choose.
Right
So,
on. Yep.
yeah.
okay, so we're going to do the much lighter side. We only have about a minute left. Tell us something good, Amy.
Something good. It's getting cooler outside, and it feels great in the morning.
You're a fall baby?
I am a fall baby, and my garden is like springing to life. It's like, wait a minute, I've got all these baby cucumbers and tomatoes, and
I'll
I'm
be
like,
right up.
where have you been all
Yay,
summer? So,
yay.
you know,
Oh,
that's
wow.
happy.
Wow.
I was about ready to go out there and pull my garden, and then I saw all these brand new babies.
Nice,
So-
nice.
Well, tomorrow night, Mandan Braves are playing football at Starion Complex, and it's hamburger night, and my son-in-law's cooking, and my grandson's selling 50-50 raffle
It is
tickets.
the best time of year.
Woohoo! Go
Amen.
Braves!
Absolutely, go Braves. Who are they playing?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It doesn't
Don't
matter.
care.
We have a food truck festival this weekend.
Is
at
there?
at the municipal complex.
And the powwow this weekend?
Yeah.
Get out
Okay.
there and enjoy that weather. And
Yeah.
food
Speaking
and
of getting
power.
out, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, thank you for joining us today. It's a lot of information to absorb. The one thing we want you to take away from this is call your legislators to make a difference. It's the only way it's going to get done. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Ladies of Another View on Back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive, and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.